Hello friends, Marcy here, and I'm coming to you today to talk about all things Kakimori. Well, maybe not all things, but most things. This was the newest edition I shared. It's a Kakimori felt. Uh, I got the chisel point and get different models, but I filled it with my own ink, which was the Noodler's Firefly or a highlighter ink. And when I purchased it, I thought I could refill it, but I was mistaken. Once you fill it, you cannot disassemble it and refill it. So that was a $6 purchase from Jet Pens. And if you saw my previous video, I just want to bring that to your attention because it's like a one-time use, but kind of cool if you want to use your own color ink in there. Just not refillable like fountain pens would be. Anyway, back to the Kakimoris at hand. I ordered hopefully the last Kakimori nib and nib holder that I will ever need. Um, my first purchase was the stainless steel Kakimori nib, and when I purchased it, I was kind of surprised at the cost of the nib holders. So I ordered this Tachikawa from Amazon. I forget who had that on their channel. I think it was Jana Lyons was using this nib holder on her channel. So the stainless steel Kakimori nib and the Tachikawa nib holder. And then this one actually came with the end cap to protect the nib. And so I'm going to talk more about this in just a moment. My second nib purchase was the brass. Before I ordered either of them, I actually did a little research, and considering that I was going to use mine more for art and drawing than fountain pen inks, I did order the stainless steel because they are more firm, um, and the brass tends to be softer. And so I thought I could have exquisite lines. To my naked eye, I can actually see more of a chiseled or a finer point on the stainless steel. I'm not sure if I'm giving you the opportunity on the camera because I can't really see that. But I've enjoyed using both. I do use this brass one most of the time when swatching my inks, and it does get its own patina or discoloration as brass will. So my latest fountain pen nib from Kakimori is this one. It is a dip pen that's actually like writing with a fountain pen. Let me try that again. That's actually, I'll try it 3 times. That's actually like writing with a fountain pen nib without the feed. Okay, and the reason I decided to go ahead and invest in this was my dissatisfaction with these as I used them to swatch last week 131 sample vial bottles, and I will talk to you more about that in just a minute. But I did try to get a different color nib holder when I ordered. So this is the Sakura wood, and then this is the Sakura wood in white. And they kind of look almost the same, but this one is a paler color. And I think what I'm going to do, and the reason why, I think I'm going to take my stainless steel and put it in my new Sakura white nib holder so that these pens kind of match. But mainly because I would like to have a protection over this nib in case it's, ever dropped, because it would be more delicate on the end if it will fit. Let me try. Yeah, so my cap would protect the end of this nib on the Tachikawa. These do not come with, or that I haven't discovered any that come with, to my knowledge. But I do want to show how this one writes in just a moment. These are the boxes that the holder and the nib came in. I just want to show you what they look like. I don't think I shared that. when I actually shared the purchase of the other two pens. But let me put these here and talk to you a bit about these. These they are just plastic, and they are the Iro-Utsushi Dip Fountain Pen Nibs. There's no feed on the back. I do have some other that have the feed, the Serendipity. But when I used this last week heavily, I had to clean this out a lot because ink went back into the handle here. And I used, see, this one is fine. And I used the medium fully on that day because I wanted a consistent line with all the inks that I was swatching. And I'll show you a bit about that here. Then we'll come back to the pens. But I spent a good day last week, or a good portion of my day, swatching all of my 131 ink sample vials into a new book because I had previously used this as an ink swatch book where I had put full bottles, and then I would record, I put the ink, and then I would record what ink I would have inked in it at the bottom. The ink and then the pen, the ink and then the pen. But I wasn't keeping up with it consistently, mainly because my book got full and I wasn't able to add any more inks to it. And I've since purchased more ink bottles that I do need to add to it. So I have a lot of updating to do. Anyway, I did see Gail from Gail's Bookish Things share hers, and it gave me good ideas as to how I want to recreate or further organize my inks and pens. Of course, in the front of the book is all the bottled inks. And in the back, I started by putting my samples. Well, I kind of ran out of pages, and so I can't add sample vials or any more bottles to this book. This is Galen Leather, the Everyday Book, and it's only 128 pages. So I was considering what other book I want to use as I move into a new ink or pen inventory organization system. So right now, what I'm considering is one of my Galen Leather books that has, it's the Tomoe River paper inside, but these have 400 pages in them. I'm actually thinking about moving into, for my ink inventory, using the one with the black cover. It also is the Tomoe River paper and 400 pages. That should give me plenty of room to inventory all of my pens, because I really want to get a handle on that. So I do love swatching inks in this, just for a record. But I would like to have an ink inventory. I'm considering, I know I have another one of these, the endless recorders. I've been using this one for some recent ink swatching. But let me go back to this Hobonichi Weeks. This is an old one. I don't remember what year, 2022. And I had some blank pages in the back because this was the full one. So I just went through my ink vials. I'll show you a picture of my stash. And I made a page for any inks that I got from Trufe in my sub boxes. My ink journal ink flight. This is April and May. June is not in here, and I'll tell you why. I left space for it, but July, and then I didn't receive any more. The reason June is not here, I left space for it because I thought, oh, I have that box somewhere. But this is where I swatched my June ink flight in my endless recorder, June of 2023. And I actually gave this the free gift, which was a little organizer, desktop organizer thing, and all the inks to a colleague at work. So I don't have these inks to add to this book, and that's okay. So then I separated all my Goulet pens, any pen that I have purchased or received from Goulet. And this was fun. Real quick, let me talk about this since I'm seeing it. When I was using this medium dip pen, or that's the fine one, I kept getting these little burps. See, there's a here and here. Or it would run, there's burps, or it would run light. I just wasn't happy with the inconsistency of this nib. Here we have some more where it just really burped the ink down on the page, or it was inconsistent and I had to dip several times within a word just to complete the word. A lot of little burps on here. So I wasn't totally satisfied with this nib. It's another. And it, you know, it wrote lightly, very lightly. Lightly here. Lightly. Heavy and light. It was just very inconsistent. And because I was using it so much in one day, I was learning not to like it. It wasn't doing what I needed to do. So here it was writing okay, but I had to redip, and then it was really heavy, and I don't know. So you know what I'm trying to say. Those are from Gold Spot. All my samples, again, you can see the page of heavy little ink blurbs, or very fine, inconsistent writing. And then last I have, this page cracks me up. These are all the samples that a pen friend, Gail, has shared with me. And she has a YouTube channel, Gail's Bookish Things. I think you know it. But these are all the inks, a page and a half of inks that I've received from Gail. And I'm still adding to it. But yeah, I have the very inconsistent lines from this dip nib. And that's when I decided to go ahead and invest in this one, and I'm anxious to try it out and do a writing comparison with you to show you that I have made improvements. Right? Okay. One other thing about this paper, I just wanted to put all my current ink samples in one book. This isn't the best ink swatch paper, although it is Hobonichi Tomoe River paper. It is a cream color. It has a yellow tint. It's not as bright. Let me show you. This is a Hobonichi A5. And you can tell the difference. This is a very white page and this is a cream color. So this isn't really good background for swatching your inks. It's good paper, but I am going to move into something or utilize the back end of these leftover pages for ink swatches as well. So that being said, actually I do want to write on this. So I want to do a comparison of the Waterman Serenity Blue, because it'll be pretty. When I'm not using my inks, I do store them in my cart that I'll show you pictures of. Within the boxes, so that the bottles are protected from light. So first of all, on the first dip, the Iro-Utsushi, I'll spell that out if I can. This is the fine nib. Let's do a swatch. Oh, I got my little tab there. Mark my page. I wonder what I was hitting. It's so clear. This is a very fine writer. So, Waterman, Serenity Blue. And let me come in closer so you can see what I'm doing here. And this is I believe, Pilot. I should have written that first. Iro-Utsushi. And we have a fine nib. Okay, so even though I just dipped it at the beginning of this word, I'm already out. I'm not going to go back and correct that because I do want you to see what I'm talking about. All right, let's move to the medium. You can already see the color difference in the ink that it puts down. Waterman. This is why I used the medium when I did my whole book, because I liked I wanted to see the ink since I was ink swatching. All right, we're already at a faint line here. I'm going to re-dip on Iro-Utsushi. All right, ran out of ink again. So it didn't give any of those burps there that I showed you all my examples of. But now I want to try this new pen, and I haven't done anything to this pen except take it out. And this does not have any markings on the nib, whether it's medium or fine or anything like that. I did check the website, and I'm not seeing any designation of what size nib it is. But it looks very much like between the fine and the medium, like Sailor would call it a fine medium or medium fine. All right, already on the first line, we're having consistency. The ink is staying with me without re-dipping, and this is the Kakimori Dip Nib. Oops. You know what? I shouldn't have washed that. I just rinsed it off. I should have kept writing to see how long it would go, so I'll try that again in a minute. But let's take a closer look. This ink is gorgeous because right here in this, you can see the red sheening in that beautiful blue ink. So a close-up look at the difference. You did see the performance of how the ink stays, and I did rinse it. So I'll be starting over, but let me see how long I can write on one dip with the Kakimori nib. Okay. Am I even in frame? I don't know. Okay, Kakimori nib test. Oh, for consistency's sake. Oh my goodness. Kakimori nib test. Today is Friday, June 14th, which is Flag Day in America. I was looking up at the screen to make sure I'm in frame, and I just kind of got weird on the numbers. So it is Flag Day in the US. Okay, it looks like I'm now starting to get faint on my ink coloration, but I did a lot more writing. I think this performs much better than, I'm gonna go ahead and rinse that and cap my bottle because I'm moving my box around. I do think this performs much better than the Iro-Utsushi dip nibs. And I'm just saying that because, like I said, I did 131 ink vials in one day, and I got very frustrated with the performance of this. So I will be putting this to the test because I'm still updating ink inventory, but I'm going to be moving on to updating the inventory on my ink bottles. All right, now let's give these two a little writing test example. These are used very well to create different line widths This is the stainless steel. Depending on the angle that you hold your nib, you can get a variety of line widths. So this is the stainless steel. And let's look at the brass. Ooh, I rinsed my nib there, and that was very, very bright. This Serenity Blue ink is gorgeous. All right, and just next door, let's do the brass. I am having a greater variety of angles here. Of course, this is not apples to apples comparison for what I could have done with this one. Just showing you they're very similar in performance. You can control the line width, and that's why I love it for swatching inks in my swatch book, because I can lay down a good line of a wet petal. So anyway, so happy to introduce to you the newest member of the Kakimori Nibs to Marcy House. And as Marcy explores more ink, you'll be seeing these friends again. I thank you for spending some of your precious moments with me. If you have any questions about the dip nibs, or any suggestions on something you think I could have done better to get a better performance out of the unsatisfactory performance of my nibs, please comment and let me know. I love learning, so I would take your information to heart. You have a blessed day. Bye-bye.